welcome to the Bernie Co-Star Show with the top dog, Hanford Dixon. Good to see you guys. And actually, this is the first time we've seen Hanford since his big-time debut at the NFL Draft.
How special. I wanted to lead with that myself, Gab. Spot on with that media celebrity, ABC's finest all over there.
Well, you know, I feel like a celebrity when I was out there. Now I get back here, and you guys are doing it right. You give me my own shirt now. You know, I got the Top Dog Hanford Dixon shirt. Gab's got a Top Dog shirt on over there.
I have the less intense version, Cody.
Yeah, but I called in today. I actually tried to get into a production meeting today. For all of our viewers and listeners out there, I'm not the most dressy person there. So I actually called for some wardrobe today, and that was the only text that was not responded to by me.
Well, you know why? Because, Bernie, when you were doing all the texting, I was on the elliptical. And
I thought you were saying you were getting dressed for that top dog. I want that. I want that shirt. Okay.
I was on the elliptical, and I was and then after the elliptical, I know I had to rush in here because one thing we don't want to be is late for Gab. You know, she just. She's mean, but I got to tell you guys this.
Wait, Mr. Health and Wellness on the elliptical. You got the top dog shirt. I'm going to have that one next week.
I have to tell you guys this. It was really going out to Kansas City for the draft was exciting. Obviously, I ate a lot of good barbecue out there, but got a chance to see, you know how it is, Bernie. You get a chance to see a bunch of the boys. Robert Smith is out there, and just sitting.
We got to get Cleveland's finest. We got to get Robert on the show. That's right. We love
that. He would love to come on with you and I just know that, and I have already talked to him a little bit.
See, Robert's represented by a great friend, the great Neil Cornrich here in Cleveland.
Didn't see Neil though, but obviously Robert. But it was just phenomenal out there. Obviously, we didn't pick to the 74th pick, but just seeing all the guys. Bernie, I don't know about you, but when I came out, for sure, we didn't have the big production like it is right now as far as the draft. Did they have that when you came out, the big production of what it is right now?
Well, I'm getting a little scarred from these Kansas City memories of my elbow getting knocked out of the first game of the season in 1988. So not to be selfish or reflective, but thinking of this health and wellness as you were on the elliptical there today. Yeah, it's the drama of the draft, the entertainment of the draft. When we had it here in Cleveland a couple years ago, spectacular turnout post-COVID. To see that turnout in Kansas City was spectacular. To see the excitement of the NFL, they absolutely. I thought there was cool attention when you and me came out. Nothing compared to today.
Well, you know what's funny though, being there, watching all the drama, watching all the action, watching all the guys out there. You see all the guys that are right there in the studio talking about the guys that are going to get drafted. Obviously, they have their families, they have the girlfriends, the wives, or whoever right there with them. But to see the dress, you know, all these guys, they have all these tailored suits made, and then they have their jewelry on, and then they can't wait to go out to see the commissioner. But I really, you know, every year there's always one guy you feel bad for.
I was biting my tongue. I was trying to be coachable from the last podcast and not chime in.
Yeah.
God, with Will Levis
Yes.
and the safety from Alabama who waited for day 2 like that for that walkout. Yeah, it's exceptional for the guys who get called like that. The excitement, the families. Boy, the pain for the guys who had to sit through the whole night and then not get drafted. And
I kind of felt. But let's hit this draft real quick.
Hey, I want to just add to that, though,
Okay.
guys not getting drafted and stuff. There's a real thing coming out this year. There was a double-digit guys who have left early from college. In the old days, 5 years ago, if you left early, you were almost always drafted.
Yeah.
I really challenge kids now to really look before coming out now. With the NILs and the ability to network in college and to get some compensation in college. Some of these kids, I think, left early this year, and there was sadly some underclassmen that, again, were not drafted, and it's really unsure now, where do they fit into the pro game, or do they go back in college? So for the younger kids out there, this NIL stuff is great. Being a pro is awesome, but get that degree and work it from the college angle as long as possible, unless for sure you're one of the guys that we're about to talk about.
Well, let's do this before we jump into the draft. I have to tell you, I have a lot of people that wanted me to say hi to you. I was just recently guest speaker at the Curbstone Coaches Hall of Fame banquet.
That's a big one in Youngstown, Ohio.
Big one in Youngstown, Ohio. The mayor was there, gave me the key to the city. I said, "You guys." I don't think Bernie will mind if I get this key, but there's so many people. Everybody came up to me, and they wanted me to tell you hi. And I was just shocked at the people that listened to the Bernie Kosar show with Hanford Dixon right there in that area.
Yeah, us from Northeast Ohio, us in particular from Youngstown, thank you for doing that. Thanks for the shout out and reminding us with the podcast and talking about the draft and the Browns, which we're so fired up and excited to be doing. But, I talk a lot about the health and wellness. There's so much happening in Northeastern Ohio and in Youngstown with the manufacturing jobs. We've had troubles over the years. What you hear me talking a ton about with East Palestine and this Norfolk Southern train derailment and this disaster. There's so many people there that need our help, our support. And more, yes, our prayers, but also our real financial commitment to that. So awesome what you're doing there, too. And
I didn't know that East Palestine was just about 10 miles away from that Boardman, Youngstown.
Yeah, my parents and
area.
where we grew up is all in that 5 to 10 to 15 miles away from that area. And seeing actually some of the things that are happening in the area environmentally, it's absolutely concerning.
Well, guys, getting back to me being the star that I was out
with
in
that
Kansas
nice-looking
City,
shirt there.
Out in Kansas City, did you guys hear me?
We want to know all about this, Hanford.
Did you guys
First of all,
hear me when I told everyone out there, I told them to shut up? I told everybody to shut up. I said, could everybody be quiet right now? I have to acknowledge Dog Pound Nation. And it's so funny because everybody was quiet, and then I started barking. It was really fun.
No, so I was watching it on the
did the bark
ABC
get drowned out?
Yeah,
I was on the ABC perspective, and all I chimed in. I heard the barking part. I was bummed out to miss that first part.
I can't believe they only showed it on ABC because it was
could hear
actually
it.
on ESPN, right, Gab?
Yeah, you could hear it on one of them, but we couldn't see it. Or something that I saw on Twitter. I was like, "Where's he at, though?"
Well, Bernie.
I had to use my technology resources to actually see the part you're referring to.
Hey, let me say this. You having to use your technology resources like me having to use my technology resource. Scary.
Yeah,
just say scary.
Yeah, well, like my 7-second delay on memory, it took me about 7 days to finally get that actual clip. So that's why the draft recap podcast is a week later.
BK, tell me about this first pick. What do you think?
Well, the first pick, I found it super interesting. As a quarterback, I love the receiver side of it. The kind of gamesmanship of drafting and stuff. There was the two Tennessee receivers. One went right in front of Cedric Tillman to the Giants. Brian Daboll traded in front of us and New England, I believe, to get his pick, and he believed that, and the name escapes me right now, but that he wanted the other Tennessee receiver. Mm-hmm. I actually thought that Bill Belichick was maybe going to try to come up
and take him
and get one too, because he was also looking for one of those. So for us to be able to get Tillman there was phenomenal, and to see that type of size, I love the ability of a bigger receiver, that 6'3", 210 like that, to be able to get up. You have great size. Yeah. I'm not trying to be a suck up to you, but you have good size. Yeah. You know what I could do, maneuvering and motions and shifts to get a 6'3", 210 receiver with speed open. So I like that for Deshaun a lot.
Well, you know what? I like the kid because what they said about the kid, obviously, just like you said, he's a big guy. I think he's what you call football fast. I mean, he can be as fast as he needs to be when he's trying to get open. But they said this kid, when the ball's in the air, I mean, he's going to get it.
He wants it.
He wants
It's his ball.
Yes.
It's his rock.
Yes. Okay.
Hanford,
after that,
real quick,
go ahead, Gab.
Tell us a little bit more about your experience there, though, because I mean, not to make you the whole star, but you were looking sharp. What was your wardrobe, your inspiration for the wardrobe? Did you have to practice in the mirror a little bit with your delivery?
Well, I'll tell
with
you.
the number, no, that's too strong. Like how did you get to where you were on the podium? Maybe walk us through a little bit before we get into this.
I'll tell you this.
How serious
I was
Gab
really,
is there.
Gab, I was really worried about, because some of the guys today with some of these names, I mean, how the hell are you going to pronounce some of these names? And I was worried that, because
We like one syllable.
Yeah, well, right. And I was
Bro.
I was what's the guy, the pick, our second pick, Ickey or whatever his name is.
Siaki.
Ickey.
I was saying, Lord.
Were you lucky you didn't have him?
Gab, I was saying, Lord, please don't give me one of those names like that. Listen, I did have my glasses, and there's no way I probably wouldn't be able to see it anyway.
Well,
and no one was up there but me. I was up there by myself, so I couldn't. If it was one of those names like Siaki, who's going to help me with this name? And Gab, there's no one, because all they do is they give you the card. And then you go and you take care of it. And I was like, oh man, I was so happy that it's this kid. He don't know I was more happy. I was happier than he were.
You got a nice four-syllable. Oh, nice Cedric Tillman. Thank you, God.
You know what? I can handle this. But it was really nice. You go in there and you spend a lot of time, obviously, with the commissioner. He's there and
he's festive.
Yeah,
he's festive during it. I did a little bit of time with them in the Cleveland
and
day.
You know what's crazy? He knows, like all the ex-players, he knows all of us. He knows our names. We don't have to tell him anything. Like he's a Hanford. He just knows. I mean, he's up on everything. But it was a really, really good time. You walk on the stage and it's just unbelievable. All the people out there and
who were some of the guys that also presented? Because some of the guys really had some. I saw some extensive little introductions.
Yeah. It was, Bernie, I can't remember what I did yesterday. So, I'm trying for you to ask me who was some of those guys is just a big, Robert Smith, obviously, I know Robert. And then I was just sitting down with a bunch of guys throughout the whole time. But shit, you asked me their name. I can't remember.
That is, and for, we say it in jest and that. But for us now, even being out in crowds and for people recognizing us, people are so awesome in that. But even our best friends, guys we love that we went to war with, the ability to get our names, even our own names right, a lot of times embarrassingly is tough to do. But even guys that we love and spent all kinds of time together, the ability to kind of recollect things isn't there like it used to be.
Well, let me tell you this. You would be happy because getting back to this draft, we took 2 players from Ohio State, 2 offensive linemen, but Bernie, one of them, as tall as you are, I don't know if you would be able to see over him. I mean, it's this big tackle. I mean, this kid is huge.
Yeah, for not having a first and second round draft pick, for not even needing to say this to be a homer for the Browns and stuff, not picked till pick 74, really had a heck of a draft. And for things that we were having limitations on going into the draft, depth in the offensive line, I love getting offensive linemen from Ohio State, but getting Robinson or getting Jones, he's at almost 375, 6'8", like that. Getting Luke as a center, you're getting 2 guys at the offensive line. But I was something that we've talked a lot about the inability to stop the run from a defensive perspective last year. And I love Myles Garrett and love what the pressure he brings from the outside. But we've been so light at the defensive tackle. So with Ickey now at 335 pounds. I think the size, the emphasis on size and getting girth on the offense and defensive line was absolutely a focal point of Andrew Berry in the draft.
Well, I can't wait to see, and you just started talking about those two tackles. Looking at this draft, I think what we did was, I think we, even though, like you said, we didn't draft to the 74th pick, I think we addressed pretty much all the needs that we needed to address in this draft. And if we didn't address it in the draft, I think we did so with the signing of free agents. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen with this defense with Miles and everybody else that we brought in to help him, because we got a new defensive coordinator, and Miles and everybody else on that defense are very, very excited to have Schwartz as our defensive coordinator.
And you can see his emphasis or his influence, I guess a better word, on the team and in the draft. Again, with Ickey, that size, we were undersized at tackle. Coach Schwartz, the old Bill Belichick type of defense, really believes in a big nose tackle handling the center and guards. So that's the emphasis there.
Well, I'm gonna say this: Greg Newsome has he was really happy that we drafted this cornerback from Northwestern. I think it's Mitchell. Is that whatever his name? We drafted a kid from another kid from Northwestern, the cornerback, and we brought him in here. But there's been some rumblings somewhere around on that, saying Greg Newsome is, he wants a new contract, or he's not happy, or he wanted out of here. But I don't think he wanted that. I think he's happy here. I think he want to continue to play for the Cleveland Browns. But the Browns are saying to themselves, okay, we got to go get us another kid from Northwestern just in case this kid gets out of here. But it's gonna be interesting.
I like Greg Newsome. I like him. I like being around him. I like how he plays. Yeah. I know people want to pick on him, and I do enjoy him a lot as a player and as a person. But you're so right, man. But teams, this is a vicious business we live in, and you don't want anybody ever drafted in your position, just period, no matter what we say. Okay.
And Bernie, I like him too, because the kid, he goes out there and he competes every single play, every single down, and he's not afraid. And that's what I like about him. And what I like him more, I had a chance to sit down and talk to his parents. I mean, if you sit down and you talk to his parents, you can understand the kid a lot more. But I'm happy with him, and I'm glad we went out and got this kid, Cameron Mitchell, another cornerback from Northwestern. We brought him in here. I think he's like 5'11", but the kid can play. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But I'm happy with the draft. What would you grade? What kind of grade, or are you willing to give them a grade right now of everything they've done this offseason and with the moves that they've made?
Well, given the limitations of the draft and given the limitations of the salary cap, I would give a high grade, like an A, considering you don't have a first and second round pick, knowing some of the holes that you had within the team. And still filling those holes with the draft, with the big guys, defensive tackle and offensive line like that. I also like Dorian, the backup quarterback in the 5th round from UCLA, and that, starting to groom younger guys like that. So, once you make the trade for Deshaun and you're all in like that, I think Andrew Berry and the front office and Paul DiBattista, Coach Stefanski, have done the best job possible trying to get this roster elevated.
Bernie, they say that kid is cocky too. That quarterback, they said he doesn't lack for confidence.
Yeah, you know what I love? I want that in my quarterback. You gotta love yourself and believe in yourself like that. I like some of the things he did last year, off season or in season wise. He moved off campus. He was trying to get more mature. It's easy on campus being the quarterback. You can get pampered, taken care of. To kind of go off campus, to kind of be independent, learn things on his own is one thing. Also staying in school and then learning, kind of refining his game. His athleticism hasn't been debated. His ability, though, to kind of keep his eyes upfield and look for down the field throws with that good athleticism, I believe he got better with that last year.
Well, I thought we gave a lot of good information. Gab, Are you going to give Ickey Woods a hard time?
I will give Ickey a hard time. We were supposed to have Ickey today. We're flying by the seat of our pants, but this is good. We'll have him next week. We'll figure that out. It's cool to hear you guys though too. Like Bernie, what would you like in your backup quarterback? What do you want them to have?
Mainly right now, as the starter, you hope that he never sees the field and never sees your huddle and that. From the quarterback, from the team perspective, him being able to learn the offense and develop timing without having to get a lot of practice. Because in the pros, unlike college, you really don't get time and practice with the guys that are going to play. So you have to be able to really get and figure a lot of stuff out on your own. And this kid started that pathway towards wanting to figure out stuff on his own by going off campus last year and handling it from a maturity standpoint. So I kind of like that as a first step. There's a lot of steps after that, but he's laid, I think, a nice foundation to get started.
Yeah, because kind of trying to dig in a little deeper, because we mentioned that cornerback and Greg and you guys saying you never want to see someone drafted in your position. How do you deal with that, though? Like, don't you think that gives some healthy competition?
Yeah.
Or how do you deal with that?
So
mentally?
it absolutely gives you healthy competition when it's a 5th-round pick. Okay. All right. When it's a 1st-round pick, you rent the next year. Okay, you're leaving. So,
well, in my position, there's 2 cornerbacks. So if you want to bring another one in, that's fine. I'm saying he's got to deal with the other person because I'm keeping mine. You know, so that but I hear what you're saying and I agree with you, but. You know, competition brings out the best in everyone. I mean, if you're satisfied, if you know you could play, you don't worry about it. You're just going to go out and you're going to take care of your business.
Yeah, and you're getting competition, so you have to raise it to that level of play. When you start though, if you start getting a little apprehensive, if guys coming in bothers you, then you're probably not long for the league.
All righty, Gabby.
All right. Interesting. Thanks for your insight. We did a little draft recap. We'll see more. And next week, hopefully, we'll be seeing Ickey.
Yeah.
We got to give a shout out to Tipico, too. Be sure to download the app and place your bets. We'll be doing more of that. We got Guardians, too, right now.
You know what?
So.
I'm back in town now. I finished up doing some health and wellness detoxing of some older men of mine who are hopefully getting a second chance in life.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I'm back in town, we'll get some of our guests here with a little more regularity and stuff so that we could talk health and wellness.
Oh, man, we're getting ready to
and
get...
old school stuff. And that's actually what I was going to mess with Ickey about was, you know, for the younger people out there, he was an amazing player. The Ickey Shuffle people are known for. But we talk about the old school turfs, the old school fields. Municipal Stadium with the frozen tundra really was a death sentence out there. The old Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, the old Three River Stadium in Pittsburgh, the old Houston Astrodome was 3 dog tracks of injuries. And Ickey tore his knee up a couple times. We got a lot of guys that are suffering the ramifications of a horrible field. And I'm not trying to give him an excuse for today, but there's a lot of stuff from that perspective that I'm going to keep pestering us about.
Well,
you know?
We'll see him next week. How about a top dog bark?
Give us one. You matter. Go Browns.